Hello and welcome back, everybody. It's Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. What would you do when your married life is great, but you suddenly find out that your beloved wife is having a relationship with a married coworker? You tell her to stop, but she keeps contacting him even after you inform his wife. Do you think that you can ever trust a woman like that? As of today, it's been over a year since D-Day. Now, let's listen to the story.
We have been married for 10 plus years and have 3 kids under the age of 10. D-Day for me was in late February when I had a suspicion something was wrong. I had been asking my wife to spend more time together, doing things as a couple, date nights, and even watching TV together. She was very standoffish and would never do anything or offer to at a later date. One day, I snooped while she was distracted, and I found that she had been having an EA with her married coworker. We lived several hours away from him, but she still had formed a connection, telling him how much she loved him and how much they could not wait to take it from an EA to a physical relationship. I immediately gathered evidence and confronted her that night. Her response was cold, to say the least. She did not seem to fully grasp the gravity of what she had done. I had been very clear that no contact with the other man was a must for me to consider saving our marriage. The night I first confronted her, she said she was going to go NC. Well, that was not the case, and I have had several more occurrences where I have found out over the next 4 months that they were still talking and still very personal with each other. After about the 3rd time of being proven an idiot for trusting her, I contacted her AP's wife, but not even that helped as they still continued their relationship. At least the other wife knew at this point and could make a decision what was best for her and her kids.
He took a couple of weeks apart from her, all the while her lying to his face and telling him that she was not talking to him, but he knew the truth.
It was during this time apart I realized my marriage was failing and that the only way for me to be happy again was for a divorce. I confronted her when I got back and told her I knew her and the AP were still talking and that I wanted a divorce. According to her, that night was the wake-up call she needed, not the 4 or 5 other times I found out about them continuing to talk. She then claimed that she was going to go NC for real this time, and that she was going to focus on us. I believed it for some reason this time. I dug down deep to find the little bit of hope that was left, and used that to tell her I was willing to try to reconcile, but it needed to be on my terms. This happened in early June. I've recently found out that throughout the month of June, they still talked, but for some reason, in July, she finally cut contact because she was tired of lying to me. Since July as well, I have found her attempting to contact him to get the closure she needs in order to focus on us. Well, I feel like that is the last straw for me. I asked to see texts, or the result was going to be divorce. She refused and said, either way, we will end up divorced. That has been a few weeks ago, and we are still living together, but I can no longer be her husband. Recently, I told her yet again that I want a divorce and I want to move out, but set up guidelines for the kids so I can still see them and have a somewhat normal relationship with them. She refuses and was claiming that she has always only wanted me and begging me not to divorce her. She has promised to quit her job and get a new phone that I have full access to, along with anything else I need to heal. I feel like these are things that should have been done months ago, not when I give up on the relationship. She is asking for 3 months of us trying to reconcile with these new fixes in place. While I am still fully committed to moving out and proceeding with the divorce, I cannot help but to constantly second-guess if it is the best thing to do. I loved my life before this. Last year was the best year of my life, but now I can no longer see her as anything but the person who ripped out my heart and lit it on fire half a dozen times.
OP is currently in his mid-30s and feels he can do so much better than to be with a person who could intentionally hurt him as badly as she did. But the thought of giving up everything he knows is beyond scary. Here is the first update.
I decided that, for my marriage's sake, as well as the kids' sake, to try and reconcile to see if it would work. Unfortunately, between then and now, there was also another detail that came to light. She told me that they had kissed twice when she was traveling for work. 2 separate occasions. I put it in quotes because she does not offer much details around it, other than he loved me, so I thought it was okay at the time. Needless to say, this was a huge setback for me and any progress I had made. I'm currently feeling pretty down about the whole thing, and I have been keeping track of how likely I think this will end in divorce. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being I'm filing paperwork, I remain a 9 most days, with the lowest being a 7 so far. I've been having a lot of struggles recently over many, many details, but some of the ones I have the most issue with are the fact that almost 100% of the details I know about the affair came from me and what I was able to find out. I think the only detail she has shared was the kiss. In addition to that, I recently tried a new counselor out who talked a lot about the cause for the relationship, meaning she needed to get her mind straight on what in our marriage was lacking that made her look elsewhere for it. I let this sink in for a while before deciding that I disagree with it completely and have since been looking for a new counselor. The reason I disagree with it is because while our marriage was not perfect, it was pretty close. We had, in my opinion, a great relationship up until this year. So for her to find this missing piece elsewhere when I was in one of the happiest times of my life with her is like a slap to the face. And sure, there were some areas that our marriage could have been better or improved upon, but that never once caused me to even think about going outside my marriage to find it. Anytime I had an issue or concern, I would bring it up to her and try to work through it together.
She has been making some positive changes, applying for jobs, being more open, and working on new ways to reconnect, but it has not made a positive impact on his thinking.
I've not worn my wedding ring since August, nor have I kissed her. She tells me repeatedly how much that affects her mentality and is pushing for me to do those things despite not feeling comfortable with them yet. She's telling me that she wants to move forward, but I can't, with all the negative thoughts in my head. In addition to all this, not only is my trust in her obliterated, but she has apparently lost her trust in me. Situations that would have never even been an issue in the past, she is now questioning me on and concerned that I am going to cheat. So, here I am, trying to fall back in love with someone who has betrayed me in every sense of the word, and that I have very little in common with. Feels like I lost the fight before it even started.
Here is the last update after 1 year.
My attitude today is a bit different than it was in the past. I was ready to call it quits several times over the past year, but we are still together and working toward a better relationship in the wake of the betrayal. I have to say that I am now focused on making myself the better person that I know I can be. It pushes me to be more for my kids and myself. As of right now, I think one of the toughest things is loving my wife again. I still do not love her like I did before, and I'm not sure that will come back anytime soon. I still do not trust her at all. Every time she is on her phone or goes for a walk alone, I cannot help but wonder if she is up to her old tricks again. One of the things that I have found to be most interesting about the situation is how little I am caring about how my wife is affected by this. Before, I'd be willing to drop an argument for the sake of her happiness. Now, most of the time in regards to talking about the affair, I just don't care. Most of the time, it is apparent to me that she is remorseful and hurt by her own actions, but at the end of the day, it is her fault for causing this to both of us. She chose to do this time and time again and make me feel the way we are now. We are working on doing more date nights, be more affectionate, and spending more time together, trying to reconnect and improve on the relationship. Most of me just wonders how long she can keep this up before she gets tired of trying. Another recurring emotion that I keep having is envy. Envy of my wife's AP's wife, who now has a very distinct direction: divorce. After I informed her of the relationship, divorce was the only option from there on out. There are many times when I look back on things and think that I should have left my wife countless times, wondering what my life would be like had I did. But I have made the decision to see about getting through this, and I am going to stick to that for now. The other feeling of envy that I have is envy over what my wife must have felt during the relationship. That feeling of butterflies, new love, etc. I long to feel that feeling, but instead, I'm stuck here with a pit in my stomach most days, knowing the past and what the future holds for me. All of this said, I am trying to find myself a good counselor to help me through some of my thoughts. Now, a year out, I can say that things truly do get better. Trying to work forward with my wife. She has shown me that she wants to be trusted again, that she will do what it takes to be married forever, and that she is willing to change. Change jobs completely and has zero contact with the AP. Some days, I can begin to reimagine what life will look like with her in 10, 20, 30 plus years. I think that is quite the improvement from where I was a few months back. I have no idea where I will end up in life or who it will be with at this point. I'm just doing what I can to be happy and be present for my kids.
End of the story. Well, OP, when there is no remorse, no regret, or no respect, you don't have a marriage. 2 years on, still you don't have the picture, you only blame yourself and trickle truth. Divorce is the only logical outcome for you, likely to 180 out of desperation at your decision. Way too little, way too late. The time to change has passed. Stay strong, move forward, and I wish you all the best. Please like, comment, and share the video if you enjoyed it. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.